Welcome to Saints in the Parish, where we discuss what the church teaches so you can grow in your faith and become a saint. What we mean by the Gospels, the authors of the Gospels, why that's important. Ultimately, we know, they are inspired by God, by the Holy Spirit. They're inerrant. But what does that mean, right? So we do believe that God the Holy Spirit used the human author to write the scriptures. So it wasn't like some of my professors in seminary would say, like, it's not like, God through the Holy Spirit, like, grabbed the author's hand and was like writing it. Like, he used the author's experience, the author's intellect, and through that was inspired to write what was written, and therefore it was divinely inspired and protected from error, all that stuff. So I think it is important, to know who the author was writing for, who was the author. All these questions are important. They're not the most important. Obviously, the gospel is still the gospel. But we see St. Mark in the Acts of the Apostles with St. Paul. That's John Mark we see in Acts chapter 12, who the church is kind of always seen as the gospel writer. He was a companion of St. Paul and Barnabas. You can go read it. There's like a little fight, and there seems to be come out some kind of split between them. All that to say, not much is known about St. Mark. He was not an apostle. He was not one of the 12. That's okay. Not all four gospel writers were. But the Gospel of Mark then, we know is written also to Gentiles, not to the Jewish converts. So that makes a difference in the way that the story is written. Characteristics I think we find in Mark's Gospel, there's a sense of like urgency. It's very quick. Like you said, it's only a handful of chapters. Right. If you look at the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew's enormously long. Yeah. And Mark's got a specific reason for writing that was different than the other writers. And that makes a difference.
The sense of urgency was when Jesus said he was going to return, and said he was going to return imminently. They didn't really know whether that meant quickly, it was going to happen quickly, or whether it was going to happen soon, because you could look at it either way. So it wasn't until a little bit later, after they realized that the resurrection, the second coming, wasn't going to happen in their lifetime, that they recognized they needed to write down the facts of what really happened.
If you would like to see more episodes, click on the podcast tab on our channel to view all the podcast episodes.